All right, everyone, welcome back. We are going to be playing Blanc. And we have both Ozmourn and HappyByThree with us. So, my friends, go ahead and tell us a little bit about this game and this run.
That's
Hi.
hello. Thank you so much for that amazing intro, Scala.
Of course.
Um, Hi everyone. My name is Ozmourn, and I have a wonderful friend with me here today.
Who?
I don't know. You tell me.
It's me.
I wish.
You have
I'm
two
Happy
wonderful
by Three.
friends with you.
I also run this game.
Yes.
We will, in fact, be running it together.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a lot of time to talk about the game itself when we get into it, so we can just get started, and then I will do a little bit of talking about the game during the first section.
Okay. Let's see here. Oh, I think we're both controlling it at the same time. Let's go.
I'm not touching anything.
Oh,
I'm letting you
where's
remap.
John? Dang it. Hold up. Go back. Default. I hate. Okay, this is why I don't like using a Switch controller for this game, because all of the buttons that the game is telling me versus all the buttons that I'm pressing are two different things. It's awful. Because this game assumes you're using an Xbox controller. It's one of those games.
So don't worry, time doesn't start when we press play, so don't
Mhm.
tech crew, don't panic that we're pressing play without warning you. Time will start when Ozmourn starts moving on this
Yes.
first screen, so Oz will give a countdown.
All right. What? Okay, that was on your end, I think. Either that or I just was. This game is finicky. We've learned it a lot. But time will begin when I move in 3, 2, 1, go.
Rad.
All right.
So, I
So.
can introduce the game a little bit.
Mhm.
Now that we're actually into it. So this is Blanc. It's a cute little puzzle game. Very much designed for 2 players. We play as a little wolf cub and a fawn who have gotten lost from their families, and we journey together to try and find our way back to our families. You can play the game 1 player. It is a very different kind of game 1 player because you control 1 character with each stick, which is really hard to like wrap your brain around when sometimes the stick is on the opposite hand of the side of the screen the character is on, so it becomes a lot more of like
Yeah.
a mentally challenging game versus 2 players, just sort of like a fun little romp with some nice music.
This is true.
So
Wait, doesn't our host Scala run a game exactly like that, where they
yes,
control?
Scala and I, in
Yes.
fact, both run that game.
Yes, Haven.
Yes.
Where? Thank you. So
Yeah. Okay.
sometimes
Yeah. You're gonna.
the camera later in
yeah.
the game does a lot of zooming out to accommodate situations like that, but here it's a little finicky where if one person goes just a little too fast, then the other one can't get around the corner. But that's a non-issue after like that segment.
Mm-hmm.
So now
As beautiful
we get
as
the ability to run,
is,
thank God.
Yeah. Game is we've established pretty well that there's some finicky aspects to it, which you'll probably get to see, admittedly. First and foremost, for those of you who are wondering how we decided who chooses what character, on our first casual playthrough, I asked Happy, "How tall are you?" and they said tall, and then I chose the smaller character. That's it.
that was our whole decision process. There isn't a lot of mechanical difference between the 2 characters. I mean, what we are able to do is different, so our role is different. It is very much a asymmetric co-op, but it's not like a significantly different gameplay experience. You know, it's not like one player is like playing a fighting game and the other one is playing like a farming simulator. It's very similar puzzle solving. It's just which half of the puzzle do you want to do. Oz is going to hang back here, which is actually faster, because then I can go over this bridge.
Whoa,
and I'll just
that
do a sniff.
has such long range. My goodness.
Yeah.
Because usually you have to like so we established there that like if HappyByThree goes across the bridge before I go under it, I will not bark at them.
but you
But
still
we didn't.
growl.
Yeah, we still growled, and like I didn't realize how far away the range was for that. And so that's unfortunate, but there's still
But
some
here we're
other
fine. We
small
don't do it when we
optimization
cross
there.
over each other there.
Yeah,
But yeah,
exactly.
we're early in the game, so we're still at a point where the two characters are sort of unfamiliar with each other, and if we get too close to each other, they'll stop to growl and or whine at each other. So we have to take the fastest route possible without getting too close to each other. So the routing is a little specific in that way, where
Mhm.
we're not
Yeah.
we're not just taking the fastest line between 2 points. It's the fastest line between 2 points and a lot of other factors.
Yeah, we're currently, as you can see, in these first like chapter and a half, we're completely separate. Like we don't cross paths ever. Technically, we're not like cooperating in any way. But after this small section, we should like be able to directly interact with each other. Because
This
this
little
is
section
like
just
yeah, some
you
smaller
first.
puzzle solving here. So we're gonna have some smaller puzzle solving here in this little section, which we this is like the first instance in which like our actions within the game's puzzles actually affect each other, and so we're going to be seeing much more of this throughout the run.
Yeah, so just introducing us to the idea that like Oz is able to pull on stuff and can use his wolf teeth to like cut ropes like that, and I can push things.
Yeah, if there's one thing that we know about this game is that I have very sharp teeth and I have jaws of steel.
Yes.
Despite the fact that I'm very small and my head is bigger than my body. But one thing you're going to see us is that we're not going to be following the trails for two main reasons. One, it's just because a straight line is faster than whatever trail we're going to be going down. But two, also sometimes in the game, the trails that we're following are meant to be like trails of the family that we lost, and that's how we're like walking. Ignore the fact that they got incredibly far without ever realizing that we were lost, but you know, that's a conversation for another day. But you want to avoid trails also because there's sometimes times in the game where our characters will sniff the trails and then do like a little animation barking or like making a noise being like, oh, our family is this way or whatever, and if you just avoid trails entirely, they will not perform that animation. And even when the animation is meant to be scripted, if you just don't touch the trail, they'll never do the animation. And so it's tedious, and you want to avoid it as much as you can because it's like a full like 3 to 4 seconds of time loss every time that you do it. It's a long animation, relatively speaking.
Yeah. There's a lot of moments like the one you just saw where Ozmourn gets to kind of run in a straight line and I have to jump over a bunch of crap. Perks of being the tall one, I guess.
Yeah.
And so now we get our first like truly interactive puzzle. It kind of introduces the idea that like one player might have to move something out of the way before the other one can do their half of the job. Obviously, the upcoming puzzles get a little more complicated than that, but it's just sort of giving us the concept.
And now we're here in this section where we can only really land on certain spots because this snow is like covering up buildings. It's like incredibly deep, and so we don't want to like fall into the snow. But it doesn't matter because the game doesn't even let you go into like the deep snow anyway.
One thing you might have noticed right there, I kind of jumped around some corners in some weird ways. The button to jump is the same as the button for running. And so you can't just mash to get your run started because you have to toggle run. But if you're too close to a trigger for a jump and you try to toggle your run, then you will jump onto it. So there's a lot of like very, very precise. You have to get to the right spot before you start running. But obviously you want to run as soon as possible because it's faster. And so there's a lot of cost benefit analysis in the way things are routed.
Mhm. Right here, we're going to have some more interactive puzzles where we're going to be using the actual body weight of the characters. For example, right here, where Happy is going to have to be standing on the other side in order to lift me up because I'm small. And we're going to be, believe it or not, you'd think that like that would kind of all there is to that puzzle, but we're actually going to see pretty similar puzzles like that. It's going to be used in different ways. If only this wolf would jump where I would like it to jump.
There's
I
another
think
thing. Sometimes standing in the same spot, you can get multiple jump points from there. And so you think you're going to jump onto one spot and the game decides that you're jumping somewhere else. That's just part of the charm and part of the skill ceiling of the game is having to actually figure out how to do this optimally.
true. This particular puzzle that we're going to be doing right here has a lot of moving parts to it, especially because me and Happy are going to be using two separate paths, but what we do along each path affects the other person. For example, this sign right here, or the box that Happy had moved. It's a lot of coordination and just trusting the other partner that they're going to be, doing their puzzle as quickly as they can. For some reason, there's a scripted cutscene here. I don't know why.
It is really cute, though.
It is cute.
Earlier today, we found a way to really screw up the camera here that I'm sure later we will mess around with and try and turn into an actual glitch. But luckily, it didn't happen here because it lost us quite a bit of time.
Yes. But the reason that it's actually interesting is that because we found out that if the camera gets moved to a point where like it can't go back to normal, there's actually a fail-safe in the game in which like it will like fade to white and then move the camera, and then we think it also might change your position as well. We haven't really confirmed that, but being able to like abuse specific fail-safes in the game itself is pretty hype.
We have the glitch hunting experience in this game has been so far getting extremely close. This is the one place where we still haven't found a way to get around this trail without a sniff. It just always happens. We have gotten to the point that we have gotten really far out of bounds and definitely done unintended things, but we have not quite made it useful yet. So we're both pretty optimistic that there is a way to sequence break this game. We just haven't figured it out yet.
Yeah, this game is built. It's not like it's built well enough to where like you can't like sequence break anything that we know of right now, but it's just broken enough to where like you can go out of bounds, you can abuse specific things about the camera and about the characters in this game, but it's just nothing that's like inherently useful to the speedrun.
So when you have speedrunner brain, it's like just tantalizing enough that you're like, I know I can do it.
Yes. For example, this entire area right here, the platform to my right, like above that brick wall, that is the end of the level. And we tried for like multiple hours trying to find some way to go over that wall, either using our character models or using the camera. And we just haven't found a way to do it. But we feel like we're very close to doing it because camera abuse in this game is very, very easy to do. But we just need to find ways to abuse the camera in a way that's beneficial to us. So.
Basically, the camera tries to keep you both on screen as much as possible, and we found if we find the right way to split up, it'll kind of pull the camera like a string, and at some point the string snaps and it just doesn't know what to do anymore.
Exactly. Right here in the game, we're introduced to another new mechanic in which I have to climb on Happy's back in order to get up to certain platforms that I'm too short to reach. This is something that is going to be pretty reoccurring throughout the run.
Me mashing B here doesn't actually do anything, but I think it annoys Ozmourn to hear me whining, so I do it every time.
Actually, I don't hear anything right now. So
you can't even hear the sound.
Exactly. Which is why Happy's the one streaming right now. But we actually, at the end of this level, we get introduced to another mechanic called wind. Wind actively slows you down. There are certain small parts in the wind that we've managed to like try and abuse.
Like there, you suddenly just, if you're on that ledge, you just start running even though you're still in the wind, so it saves a couple seconds.
You're quite clearly in the wind. Yeah. This is another part of the game where there is a scripted sniff, and you cannot get out of the trail fast enough to stop it from happening.
Yep, the important thing is just that we try to do it together, so that that 4 seconds is happening simultaneously instead of I take 4 and then Oz takes 4. The closer we can be to synchronized on that, the better it is. I hate that you can jump off the bottom of this.
Right. There we go. Come on.
You have to press jump to get onto it, but you can just run off of it.
Amazing. Anyways, wait, actually, no, we're going to be introduced to another mechanic up here. I was about to say, Scala, say something, but this is the part where we get introduced. Yes, thank you. I think this is the part where we get introduced to sliding.
Yes. The fastest way of moving that we don't get till right now. You can slide when you're on a slope, and it's really cute and fun.
It is really cute and fun. However, this is one of the game. This is a game where like you cannot perform a mechanic until the characters know that they can perform a mechanic, and so that's like just an annoying thing because there's so many parts in the first few levels in which, what is going on here? What's going on here? Okay, thank you. I'm sorry. There's so many parts in the first few levels where you can definitely like slide down hills if the game would allow you to, but it doesn't, unfortunately.
Be a good time for if you have like one quick donation while we get to the next section.
I have very quickly. I have $10 from Anonymous. I have $20 from Dave, who says, "Way to go, Powerful Pride Team. Much love from Lucid Works," and $50 from Pauline that says, "No frames, only animal pets."
That's fair. I'll take that.
Only animal pets.
Oh, that was a bad one.
Unfortunately, we don't see any animal pets, but that's because we are the animals. So.
And now it gets windy again. There are, as you can see, Oz right there ran for a second. There's a few spots where like it's just not windy, and so we have to remember where those are so that we remember to press A to toggle our run on, so that we move as quickly as possible through that section.
Yeah, and it's weird too because there's quite clearly like the animation of the wind going over that area, but for some reason it just doesn't slow you down.
You just run anyway.
But speaking of wind, we're going to be using a lot of wind.
Hope you like baby geese, because you're going to deal with them for a long time.
Yes, this entire level is one huge escort mission, split up into about 3 or 4 sections. These are the baby geese right here, and Mama Goose. And unfortunately, this level will not end until Mama Goose gets to the end of it. We've tried to like sequence break this one. However, like there is a barrier at the very end of the level that we cannot get through, and it will not disappear until Mama Goose gets to it. So that is a very, very unfortunate part of the event because theoretically you could just go to the end of the level, I think, but like there are barriers that prevent you from doing so until Mama Geese is there.
Cool, perfect. This one's the easiest to do in one sequence. Ideally, you won't see this happen, but if the ducks are in the wind for too long, they get blown away. Well, actually, we do it on purpose in the next one, so you will see it. But that one's very easy to get in one cycle because our hitboxes are just big enough that if we stand kind of in line with each other, we can get all 3. That's not an option as far as we know on this part.
True. And honestly, like the game, like you can see that there's like a little area around me where the game is just like, hey, put the ducks in here. Like there's a little animation where it's like a perspective area. But admittedly, it's actually much more accurate for you to use the actual like character model instead of whatever animation the wind is doing around your body. It's a little bit more accurate, and you're actually going to see that at the very final puzzle that we have to do. Final section of this that we have to do for this. So okay, this one's much faster than what we did in practice.
Yes, this was a good cycle. There's definitely ways to manipulate it, but it's a little finicky, and
I do think it's theoretically possible to get them all in one line, in one fell swoop, but like we haven't really found a way to like optimally do it.
No. But yeah, that's a good example. Right there is the same thing as the end of the level, where like that white fog doesn't go away till the mother goose like touches the barrier. So this one is possible to get in one cycle, but hard. We did get it in our practice run this morning, so I'm optimistic.
I'm optimistic too.
It is hard.
Yeah, it is. It's all a matter of how I play out this next section.
Because
Also,
of the thing in the middle, we're not able to. So on the first one, we just used both of our hitboxes to cover all three. On this one, because of these branches in the middle, we have to like use one person's hitbox.
Fine. Well, we got two.
Two's still pretty good. We'll take two.
We'll take two, and I gotta go back.
Yeah, you're trying to fit all three of them in one hitbox, which is much more precise.
We did it. So like you can like make the little geese stand like right beside you, and maybe instead of directly behind you. And so I try to use that to my advantage to bring up both geese, and then the third one trails behind and comes to the very back of the protection zone. But unfortunately, was only able to get one of them, and so one of them fell back. But it's perfectly fine.
And there's like a split second, like they can handle the wind for a bit before they get blown away. So you can like put them in the wind to slow them down for a second to like try and manipulate them to go the same direction. But yeah.
Here's another beautiful way to
This is a fun slide.
It is a fun slide, isn't it? This next one we have tried to try and do in one cycle, but just we haven't been able to time moving this door good enough for it to happen.
There's a lot of things in this game where like we're like, okay, do it when the first one reaches this point. Now let's try when this first one is like just past that point, right? And like it feels like there should be a sweet spot where you just nail it, but so far we keep landing on either side of that sweet spot. So maybe it's not actually possible, but I choose to believe like no.
Yeah, because
that feels good.
That does feel good.
I think we're gonna lose one on this side.
Oh, two. I feel like if we did it just a tiny bit earlier, it would have been
a little
two.
earlier, yeah.
Come on. What are you doing? What am I doing? What are we doing here?
You're just stuck pulling it. There you go.
There we go. Okay.
You just didn't want to let go.
Thankfully, I didn't lose time because we still have to wait for the geese to like move. But that was a really weird. What is going? Okay, there's wind there. Here, man. So let's say like, why am I moving slow? But right here, the game likes to remind us that hey, I'm too short and I need Happy to help me up in places, because usually in our first few playthroughs of this, we were like, we forget to help each other up on this ledge.
There's one right before this that's the same like visual height but doesn't require the teamwork.
Yeah,
and then that one does.
Yeah.
So the visual cues aren't always super reliable, which is true. I think pretty common in an aesthetic game. You know, it's like
this game very much focuses more on aesthetic. But we have to wait here for the ducks, for like the little geese to come. So Skull, if you want to say anything, you can.
Anything, first of all. Secondly, we got ourselves a $3 donation from Garby. Thank you, Garby. We also had a $100 donation from Dr. Goldfire. So thank you so much. No comment, but we appreciate your generosity.
Thanks, Doc.
Thanks, Doc. Let's see here. All right, so this particular puzzle is a bit weird after Mama Goose is done giving the pep talk, as she does for every single time. We essentially, this is the best example of just like, do not rely on the wind that's going around you. Rely on your hitbox, on like the actual character model, because that's going to be the most reliable as to how much you're actually going to be covering the little geese. This is the one where we have not figured out a way to like get them all in one fell swoop. You have to kind of do them one by one. But as you can see, I'm going to be leading in and then just going back and getting another one. Meanwhile,
so as far as we know, that's as good as it gets. That was like perfect to the best of our knowledge. Is like all of them only took one attempt, and
Yeah, because in practice today, it was some of them fell back because they went like slightly outside of Happy's hitbox when they were going to the second row.
Yeah.
Which is
And
unfortunate.
sometimes their animation will show that they're moving quickly and everything's fine, and then they'll just not be fine. And so here we get to just kind of run around and do whatever we want, because until the duck, geese, whatever, get to this little house, this next area doesn't open up. So
Although I do find it a little taunting how half of my character model is
I
through the
know
barrier.
it kills me, and like I can get all the way over here. And, like, again, this game gives you just enough hope that maybe you can break something. So if anyone in chat is a big glitch hunter and wants to jump into a parsec instance with us and break something, maybe you'll be able to find what we haven't.
Mhm.
Yep, and
Okay,
only one
so
of us
in-
needs to get up there to
yeah.
trigger that cutscene. So
Exactly. So one of us just slides down, and the other one just can hang back. And this part is one of the funnest parts in the game. It's just
yo,
us sliding for the whole chapter, sliding down a huge hill. And later we get to see some Tony Hawk's Pro Skater stuff as we grind across rails. But this is another level in which we were glitch hunting, and we actually did go out of bounds, but it wasn't anywhere that would be useful to the speed run.
no,
Again,
it just kept. Eventually, the game would be like, you are too far from where you're supposed to be. Let's just pop you right back onto the track.
Exactly. In that particular section right there, for some reason, whoever's in front or in front of the other person on the first half will be stopped, because like you can't do the second half until both characters are at that halfway point. But this is a lot of fun. Scholar, what are you thinking right now?
It looks like a lot of fun. Again, you always have to be testing to see if there are ice physics.
Coming up.
Oh, there are ice physics coming up actually. In this
But
next
the ice
section.
physics are not normal ice physics where like everything gets a little slidier. The ice physics are you move fast on it but have like no control. So if you want to take like a cleaner line around a corner, the ice basically makes it like it's sort of like Pokemon ice, where like once you touch it, you're pretty much moving in that straight line until you're done with it. It's like here I can change my direction a little bit on the snow to help me take this corner, but it's not perfect.
It's so much harder. It's so much harder to like make sharp turns when you're on the ice, for sure.
Yeah. And now it's time for Tony Hawk. You actually do move faster on the rail, so it is like valuable to grind as well as being hilarious.
It is, yes. And looks like, oh,
You always get a little extra speed right at the end. I feel like we've gotten to
Yeah.
a point where we have the same. I get to the first checkpoint first, and then I get in front of you after you take the lead, and then you come ahead at the very end there.
yeah, it's nice. So that's the end of this chapter. I would say this is like kind of like the halfway point of the game at this point. And we're actually going to be introduced to a really, really cute mechanic in the next level.
Speed run wise, this is a little past halfway because the ducks take a long time.
Oh yeah, you're right.
There's not much we can do to speed it up, but like casually, this is pretty much dead halfway. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello.
But now we
goat.
get introduced to goats. Everyone say hi to the goats. So,
Goats.
hello goats. The goats are very interesting. If you're playing this for the first time casually, or trying to do a speedrun for the first time, it might be a little annoying, only because like you gotta kind of train the goats to do what you want them to do. And so, as you can see, there is a black goat and a white goat, same colors as me and Happy. The black goat will mimic anything that I do, and the white goat is going to mimic anything that Happy does. And so we have to use that to our advantage to solve specific puzzles, like this one. What? Did you not?
You just
what?
didn't do it.
Didn't
That
you
happens
saw me pull it, right?
sometimes.
Yeah, that happens sometimes. Yeah. Oh, now it's in the box. What's going on here? This goat is a little finicky, but that's the name of the game at this point. All right, it's beautiful. Give that to me. Perfect. All right. So in combination with doing a lot of puzzle solving on our end, we also have to make sure that the AI is just mimicking everything that we do in a way that it's fast.
Yeah, and if
the
the goats haven't gotten to a certain point yet, okay. Did you see that? I like got into the position and then like slid out of it. That was weird. That's never happened before. I did it. I got to say that's never happened before.
They said the thing. Look at that.
I said the thing. This has happened before, though. I need to push this box before the goats get over there, but it doesn't like to let me do it. Until
it's strange.
Oh, well.
But it's fine.
But luckily, the box stays where it's supposed to be and kind of defies physics there.
Okay, yeah, we're way too close to the trail to like avoid this sniff, unfortunately.
Luckily, it happens while the AI is like running across that roof. So,
okay, right here, I want to actively wait for both of the goats to get in position because the white goat is going to help the black goat up, similar to how I'm coming up. Happy's back, right there, perfect. We've had so much trouble with that in some practices.
Yeah, if you do it just barely at the wrong time, they get very confused.
All right, cool. For those of you that are wondering how we're playing this, Happy is currently the one streaming and the one hosting the game, and I am remote desktopping onto their PC via Parsec. Originally, we had there is a like fully functional online form. Fully functional is actually giving it too much credit. It's semi-functional online because there's a lot of issues with connection and issues with like just with the AI and with Steam connections. Like it's pretty weird, pretty finicky, even if you have like a really high-end PC. And so when we were looking up on Spirit.com, we were like, oh, are we gonna like not avoid like these connection issues? And then we saw a guide on Spirit.com that said how to avoid connection issues, and the if you're doing online co-op, and the solution was to not do online co-op, just pretend just do it
in like the resources section. It's like what to do about online co-op connectivity issues. Use Parsec instead.
Yeah, exactly.
Good thorough documentation. So yeah, started doing that and it gets the job done. To be fair, there have been a few patches since then. So for all I know, online co-op could be totally perfect at this point, but there's a little less lag in loading times if we just go on Parsec, so it's just faster.
Yeah, exactly. Here in this last section, you're going to see us actually jumping between these pipes back and forth because it's faster to jump between them than it is to just walk in a straight line. As you can see, we're getting
if you're walking, you get hit by the wind.
Exactly.
Jumping, wind doesn't affect you when you're in the air. That's science.
Perfect. All right. And while the white goat is really good at keeping up with us and our speed, the black goat, we do have to wait a little bit. It is faster to like go across because if you it makes like the AI move faster the more you're the more ahead you are. And so right there we skip the cutscene where absolutely nothing bad happened to the goats and we're just on our way. Everything's great. We're just
nothing
walking.
Bad happened. They're just waving goodbye because they love us.
Just waving goodbye. What is going on with the camera here?
There it is.
Perfect.
Camera's having a bad time.
Yeah. Nothing bad. Oh my god, sniffing? Really? At this hour? But yeah, nothing bad happened in that last cutscene we skipped. Please believe us on that.
Everything was really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just really cool. Scala, now's a good time for you to chime in on some stuff if you want.
Oh, some stuff? Ooh, like anything that I want?
Anything you want.
You know what? We did a little shout out to this earlier, but I will give another shout out to the Yeti, who is once again putting out a wonderful collection of Power Up with Pride t-shirts. They've got 3 different designs this year. They have Snacking, the Hype Train, and Rebirth, all based off of different games in this marathon. Totally go check them out. $5 of every purchase will go to the Trevor Project. And you get to wear a really cool shirt.
I do love cool
We,
shirts
lo-
in this house.
we love
I,
cool shirts in this
I
house. Yeah.
I am currently wearing one of the previous Power Up of Pride Yeti designs. I have the random gender generation, the gender queer
That's such
link
a good
shirt
shirt.
from a few from a few events back.
Amazing. That's beautiful. Right here, this is actually the final chapter of the game. It's a bit of a long one, but it's still the final one. It opens up with this wide expanse. This is the most open the game is going to get. However, there is one particular path that you should be taking. But
Yes.
the good
So
thing
if
about
you
it is that
explore here, there are some secrets to find that you can get some achievements for. Which in our first casual playthrough together, we went the wrong way and found one of those secrets. But you know, going in a straight line is fastest. Especially there, you see we started to sniff, but we didn't stop to whine and bark. If you cross the trail perfectly perpendicularly, you can exit the like trigger for that before the animation starts. But it is a pretty tight window, and if you don't get it, then the animation turns you around and pushes you back before starting. So you actually lose time if you don't do it perfectly. But luckily, we both got it dead on right there, which was nice.
yeah, good stuff.
I'm gonna be
good
honest, I just got it right because I followed your path and you did it right.
stuff. Yeah. You can actually be just barely out of range to where like you don't have to sniff this trail. However, I do think that at some point you are a little forced to, because like the trigger will still be active, like but I'm
Yeah,
gonna
but
see
like
how long.
there, as I'm starting to, I try to like push away from it a little bit to stop. Oh, stop.
There you go.
There's a
I-
jump there to interrupt it.
I have not.
Yeah, my guy's trying
gotten-
so hard to start sniffing, and you're just not. Come
Yeah, I'm just out of zone. All right, I think that's good. I think
He's gonna do
okay.
it
Yeah.
here.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Yeah, I think I went the whole way without sniffing. It's good.
Wow. My
That's actually the
hitbox might be a little bigger because I was literally standing in your footprints.
Oh wait, no, no. No.
oh.
Oh, yes, we avoided it. We avoided the sniff. Thank
We'd
goodness.
love to see it.
Let's see it. Oh wait, but is it gonna make me sniff down here?
I
It
hope
might.
not.
I hope
So
not.
now here we have like a forced walking section.
It will. Oh, that's disgusting.
Oh, you hate to see it.
Dang. Well, at least I
This is a
avoided
quick
it for
one,
as
though.
long as I could have. Yeah. I avoided it for as long as I could have, at least. Yeah. But as Happy said, this is a forced walking section. For some reason, it strips you of the ability to run in this section.
And then right at the end of it, you can run again. So I'm kind of periodically pressing A in hopes that I trigger that as soon as possible. There it is.
Okay, perfect. Right here. Up. Come on. There we go. Oh, that was a mega jump right straight onto your back. We had a little bit of a finicky process with this section in practice,
Okay,
but
cool. Thank God. That pull sometimes gets to a point that you are like just trying so hard to walk up it, and instead you're just jumping back and forth. So
yeah.
it's very nice of
It's
it to
finicky.
work there.
This is the final section of the game. If you want an estimate check, I'd say 3 minutes, maybe 4 in total time.
I think so.
But this
We
final
really
section,
should time this out more accurately,
Yeah.
like what if this chapter takes.
yeah,
So-
exactly.
We're a little bit beholden to the AI here again. I cannot leave this position until the AI wolf is done jumping. Otherwise, as soon as I get out of position, the computer deer will get out of position, and then they can't do their thing. So Oz can jump up whenever he wants, but I have to just stand in this position for a while.
Exactly.
And
And you think that they
Now I'm
learn. You think that they learn the second time, but we have to like even though it does not benefit us, we do have to mimic. We do have to perform an action so that they can mimic it, which is unfortunate. However,
clearly we are the smart siblings.
Exactly. And speaking of, I think this is a good time for a lore update. These are our siblings. These are our friends. And so this is my brother. That's Happy's brother over there. And we're actually about to get reunited with our family. Hence why I'm saying the game is about to end. Um, so that's Happy's family right there.
We're so close.
We're so close.
Getting my sibling back to the family is pretty easy. The rest of the process is a little more complicated. But I'm just gonna, once we get around this corner, I'm just gonna let them jump up on my back, and that will be enough. Then I have to do a little bit more work for everybody else.
Oh, we forgot to make the mother of three joke with the goats. Dang it. Okay.
Heartbreaking.
That's unfortunate. But right here we
don't sing Reba.
Exactly. However, right here,
please, thank you.
right here, you saw that Happy's back is like made of metal because they just like picked up the entire weight of their brother, which could be the same body weight or more as them. And I'm just like, okay, and just didn't break a sweat. It is astounding. And the next astounding thing that we're going to see right here is actually that I have jaws of steel. There's a giant metal block preventing my brother from going through, and I can just pull it with my teeth on this rope. I have absolute amazing jaws. Like, and you can see them literally tied on. Like, that took too much effort out of me after doing that. But yeah, so now we have Happy's family reunited, and now we're gonna reunite my family, my brother with my family. But we have one last puzzle to do.
Right. Gotta deal with wind one more time. This is a weird one where like the hitbox for blocking the wind is like slightly in front of you. So I find it's easier to just watch the wolf, and if they start cowering, something's wrong. Because trying to trust your like visual hitbox is a losing battle.
Yeah, because like the protection hitbox is like angled, and so it's just based on the direction of the wind, so it's a little finicky.
I could very easily right now like let them jump up my back here, like we have many times with ledges of this height, but the game won't let me.
Yes,
we need
because I have to do this. Perfect, and then that comes down, and that'll help them. And all I need to do is get up here, and believe it or not, my part of this section is done. Time is going to come up in about a minute. Oh, I think. Oh, wait, oh, really? I thought you had to help him.
Nope, he can do that one, but not this one.
Strange. But as you can see, my family is up there. We're gonna get reunited with my family, and now it's just Happy for a few seconds.
No, I don't know what to do, but luckily Oz has a plan.
I have a plan. We can't skip that cutscene, but essentially what we're going to be doing is Happy's going to get into that basket, and I'm going to pull this rope and bring them across.
Time ends
on
the fourth pull.
2, 3, I think it's 5 actually.
It might be 5.
4, yeah.
You do the pulling, I just stand here.
And
time.
GG!
Then we get a nice little cutscene where we get to see us reunite with our families and then say goodbye to each other.
Yes.
And timer stopped a little late, but looking up at stream, I think that was a 42 flat, which is a PB by like a minute and a half or something.
Solid.
That is like a large PB.
It's a good PB.
Yeah.
That's a solid PB.
You're totally welcome to go back and retime that and submit it. And we always love marathon PBs.
Well, we have to do another marathon of this today, so we have to do
Yeah,
another
maybe we'll get
marathon
another
of this
PB. 2 in 1 day.
Yeah. So yeah, we're just saying goodbye to each other. There's my parent and one of my siblings.
Being
And
like, can you not do this?
yeah,
Our families all start like walking away while we're doing this. They're like, oh my god, we got places to be.
right? Just like we gotta get home, we gotta do stuff. Literally, like this cutscene is like when the credits starts, and you can just keep it rolling, and your families will walk away, and you will stand here for like a solid 3 minutes, just barking at each other, looking at each other.
Aww.
Beautiful.
That's because we're friends.
It is because we're friends. I do think eventually they walk away, but we'll see.
Unless they
yeah.
patched it.
Unless they patched it, right? But with that being said, that's Blanc, 2-player, any percents. And again, as Happy said at the beginning of the run, there is a 1-player mode. So if you're interested in this game, maybe as a speedrun or just even casually, but you're like, I don't have anyone to play with, you don't have to play with a partner. You can play by yourself. However, as Happy said, it's a different control scheme because you have to control each player with 1 stick. But I think that's pretty much it, right?
That's the party, yeah. Thanks so much for having us.
Oh, it's a pleasure to have y'all.
Of course, Abby, you want to do shoutouts first?
Yeah. Blanc's pretty small, so we don't have like a ton of community. Shout out to the 2 teams of people who like raced each other when the game first came out for geopolitical dominance. There was like a fight going on between 2 French dudes and 2 American dudes, and every time they'd get a new PB, they'd be like, "Vive la France!" So that was a really fun time just to watch from the side. But wherever y'all are, thanks for giving us videos to watch to be like, oh, that's actually way faster. And also, oh, there they go. Your family's finally leaving.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're gone. They're gone.
And obligatory if you want to see me play more Vigi games, I'm going to be doing a lot of runs of Final Fantasy Tactics Advance coming up here because I'm prepping it for the FF Relay. So if you want to watch me press the A button for an hour and a half straight, that's over at Twitch/HappyByThree.
Yeah. Me personally, again, shout out to people who who run this game as well. And oh, there we go. Yeah, we're going. We look back one last time, but unfortunately we must move on. Also, I do not walk the direction that my family went.
No, not at all.
Yeah. I was just like, where are we going? Okay, but that's that. And I do stream on Twitch occasionally. I will more than likely be streaming more, only because due to Steam Next Fest and stuff like that, there's been some demos of games that have been coming out that I do intend on doing full speedruns of, and I've already been practicing speedruns for the demos of. So I'm probably going to be streaming, doing more content on that. But I'm most active on Twitter if you just want to see what I'm thinking throughout the rest of the day in random moments. But aside from that, that's all. Thank you so much for Power Up Pride for having us. This is an amazing, cute game, and I'm glad we're able to show it off. I'm going to be back tomorrow night with Superliminal. But I think that's it. So, if there's anything you want to say before signing off, you can.
Just thank you all so much. Chat, we're going to go over to setup. Next up, we're going to have the ultimate doom with Zello once again. So stay tuned.